Hello, you all. Welcome to this new edition of Lectio Musica, the place for great lyrics, great music, and great meaning. My name is Guylain Prince. I'm a Franciscan friar from Canada. Love rock music for a long time, especially hard rock, metal, and prog. Once a week, I stop by my little office and I listen to great music, music that you suggested. New music for me, but not necessarily for you. So I listen to a video. Usually it's a lyric video, and this lyric video. Just give me a second. I will give myself the screen. This lyric video makes it possible for us to look at closely to the lyrics and to focus on the music, the melody, the general feel of the song. Secondly, I do a small analysis of the song. In the case of Arian, it was less an analysis than a commentary, just thinking out loud in reading the lyrics. And thirdly, I react to a live version, and we've been blessed with that album because a live version existed and the live version was fantastic. I loved it. I've heard that some people and the composer himself were not totally satisfied with the technical aspect of the recording, but I would say it didn't bother me. I've seen much worse. The sound was good. The performances by the artist is very good. So to me, I would say I can manage. I was not bothered by this at all. In fact, I enjoy the artistic direction of the play very much. Simple decor, a few movements, meaningful movement, meaningful I would say accessories. No, loved it. Absolutely loved it. And the fact that the star of the show are the singers. The stars are the singer and the musicians. For me, it cannot be better than that. So, don't forget, you can subscribe that way to that channel. We will continue our journey through music next week. I'll explain to you what it will be. And Arian will be back before the end of the year. For now, let's go to this. For now, let's go and listen to the last song of the album, Day 20. 20 days that the main character has been in the state of coma, and we end with a song called Confrontation. I wonder what it will be. Let's start this in 3, 2, 1. Oh my Lord.
See his mouth, he tries to speak, he cannot move, his voice is weak.
My dear friend, can you hear me now? I'll try to tell you how I
Feel
feel.
the pain inside of you. Tell me please, what can I do?
Listen well to what I have to say. I have to tell you, of my betrayal. The facts, it was clear, they spelled the end of your career.
Yes, I always felt that it was you. I repressed the thought, although I knew
the truth is out, I feel relieved. You hate me now, you've been deceived.
Oh, no, wait, we are even now. Come back to us, somehow.
Interesting chord.
Welcome to reality, be ready for the pain. Welcome to reality, will it be in vain? Welcome to reality, nothing much has changed since you were gone. Rise up and show the world you can be a better man. Rise up and show the world you can, yes you can. Rise up and show the world you're taking no chance. Rise up and show the world. Welcome
Haven't heard those keyboards in a record since
Welcome to reality, wake up and rejoice. Welcome to reality, you've made the right choice. Welcome to reality, and let them hear your voice. Shout it out. Rise up and show the world your battle is won. Rise up and show the world the old you is gone. Rise up and show the world your new life has begun. Rise up and show the world. Welcome, welcome back.
Here inside the question burns. Are you sure of your return?
I am sure I deserve this chance. Now I understand
It
it
all
all.
seems so unreal to you.
Can you decide what to do?
Yes, I can, or I will survive. Look at me, I'm alive.
Have a nice day. Dream sequencer system offline.
Emotions.
I remember.
Wow. That is what we call an ending. So let me correct my PowerPoint presentation. I'll be back in a second. So there we are now for our last commentary on the lyrics of this album we've been through. This is day 20. Let's go. The best friend. See his mouth. He tries to speak. He cannot move. His voice is weak. Me. My dear friend, can you hear me now? I'll try to tell you how I feel. The best friend. I feel the pain inside of you. Tell me, please, what can I do? Me answers, listen well to what I have to say. I have to tell you of my betrayal. Me. I reveal the fact. It was clear. It spelled the end of your career. So, the effect of him searching the proofs in past books to find how he manipulated the numbers was the end of his career. The best friend said, yeah, I always felt that it was you. I repressed the thought, although I knew the truth. Me answers back, the truth is how I feel relieved. You hate me now, you've been deceived. The best friend answers, oh no. In a way, we are even now. Come back to us, somehow. Wife and love together, they've been paired for many songs. Cross that bridge to the other side. Follow your heart. You can't go wrong. If you follow your heart, you can't go wrong. Well, I think sometimes you can go wrong if you follow the wrong part of your heart. But here in that play, this is what it means. Come with me. I will be your guide and lead you back where you belong. Remember, the father said clearly that he was going back where he doesn't belong. The main character, me, has a place where he belongs. Agony. Welcome to reality. Be ready for the pain. Yeah, agony has told him, and fear, they told him that because of love, he suffered and will suffer again. He reminds him here that, but not all sufferings are equal. Some are empty or vain, but some, they will build something, especially when they are within a general context of love and generosity. Welcome to reality. Will it be in vain? Welcome to reality. Nothing much has changed since you were gone. Here, it means nothing much has changed outside, but inside, something else. Passion, rise up and show the world you can be a better man. So, passion is telling him something has changed, in fact, and show now who you have become. Rise up and show the world you care. Your true nature is to care. Your false nature was to look like your father. Yes, you can. Rise up, show the world. You're taking your chance. Rise up, show the world. Agony, welcome back. Reason, welcome to reality. That's a refrain. Wake up and rejoice. Welcome to reality. You've made the right choice. Welcome to reality, and let them hear your voice. Shout it out. Rise up, show the world your battle is won. Where the battle is won? Inside. Rise up and show the world the old you is gone. The old man, the old version of yourself is gone. Now, it will not be gone technically, but it doesn't keep you prisoner anymore. Rise up and show the world your new life has begun. Yeah, it's a new life when there are openings in something that was felt like a prison before. It will still be there, but at least it will not block you from evolving. Rise up and show the world. Welcome back. Another refrain. Here inside the question burns. Are you sure of your return? Me, I am sure I deserve this chance. Now I understand it all. Something has been solved within himself. And this being solved is able to cope now and to face reality. Fear, it all seems so unreal to you. Can you decide what to do? Yeah. Can you decide what to do? I think fear is saying, are you able to decide? Is there freedom in you? That would be my take on this one. Yes, I can. And I will survive. Because deep down in self, there was a space of freedom. Look at me. I'm alive. Cross that bridge to the other side. Follow your heart. You can't go wrong. Come with me. I'll be your guide and lead you back where you belong. The best friend, there's so much to see. There's so much to live for. He reminds him phrases that they used to say when they were younger. Come with me, my love. Reason, you feel her warmth glowing on your skin, something that was already said to him. Don't you feel her warmth, her light? You're never alone. That's a refrain that goes all the way back to the 4th or 5th song. Love told him that with love, you're never alone. I knew you could make it. And fear kind of make a big arg of defeat in a way, because fear would have prevented him from emerging, going back to conscience and to connect with the best friend and the wife. Let's go on. Can't you feel that fire? Can you feel it burn? Coherent with the theme of fire and light that she already talked about. Agony, be ready for pain. Yeah, there will be pain in real love, but it's not the same kind of pain. Pride, well, rise up, your battle has been won inside. There is a resolution inside. Your new life has begun. I'm alive. I won't look back. And then this ending, quite surprising. The Human Equation program aborted. Have a nice day. Dream sequence system offline. Emotions. I remember. It ends as if it was a program of artificial intelligence that would simulate the internal and external life of a human being. So human equation here means the human programmation, the human program that made the computer experience what it means to be human. And what it means to be human is to be loved. Be loved by a best friend, by a wife, and all the emotions inside. Now, Dream Sequencer, as being a sequence, a portion of the program that made him dream. Who was dreaming? The computer. So all of this is for a computer, for artificial intelligence, to experience humanity. Emotions. I remember. Makes me think so much of, I don't know if you ever followed in your life Star Trek, The Next Generation, and the quest of Data for being a human. And at one time, there's a new chip that his creator put inside of him, which brings in his program emotions. And even though at one point he had to remove the chip for malfunction, if I remember well, he still remembered what it was to feel emotions. This is it, guys. Let's do a wrap-up of the album as I see it right now. In terms of lyrics, it's written in a very comprehensible language, a universal language. I would say generally a simple language. Once we understand the two layers or the two levels inside and outside the main character and the protagonists outside. Not just outside, protagonists. So outside there's the wife and the best friend, and inside there's pride, fear, me, reason, and so on. So once we understand that, and we can put faces or voices to each of the protagonists, the flow is very natural. It's not a complicated play. Of course, sometimes lines are simultaneous, which makes them impossible to get together in a way. But reading the liner notes once is sufficient to appreciate the whole album and the blending of the voices in different moments in the album. And once we understand it, because I listened to it by myself but with a friend, I was able to explain pretty much everything about the different character you have in the play. So I feel that I understand it quite well. In terms of music, multiple influences are part of this gorgeous album. It's a real feast for the ears. There are simple and intricate melodies. The melodic lines are of different types, of different styles. The characters are easily recognizable by the style of music accompanying them. It's taken from rock, prog, folk, and I called it ethnic influences because there were some Oriental harmonic scales, for example, minor scales. But other music, also the rhythm, the broken rhythm in a few pieces. The arrangements are rich, stellar performances by many musicians. I remember quite clearly the drummer to stand out, the keyboardists at one point or another, guitarists, very, very remarkable for all kinds of atmospheres. The one who plays the wind instruments, the different kind of flutes, and even, I don't know if it's the same, the didgeridoo. But there was also the cello. There was also all kinds of instruments. Violin came in and out. Everyone has their moment to shine. Everyone, every musician had beautiful lines, beautiful arrangements for them, but also every singer has a moment where they could shine. And in fact, each has his or her space, but very few fillers. What we call fillers is just to make a musical connection between two great themes that you might have in a song. All the singers had beautiful lines and beautiful words so they were not just there to be part of the decor. They had their moment, and that was wonderful. I've listened to probably 15-ish, 18 rock opera in my life. I would say that's probably among the very best I've heard, to give constantly great lines, melodically and in terms of lyrics. That brings us to one of my main interests, the meaning of the album. I would say the ending changes a little bit the perspective. I will say something at the end, but since I haven't listened to the last song before making these comments, I will say this, and I will add one more point right there. We have been programmed by our genetics and by our education, by instinct, by the addition of past experiences. We are in a way destined to act or react in a certain way. So there is a part of ourselves beyond our conscience that has been given to us by our physical attributes, our genes, by million years of evolution. We have tendencies to do this and this. Okay, our education added another layer. We were exposed to certain situations very young, and we had to adapt. This has prepared us to face other situations, similar situations in our lives. Okay? But sometimes programmation talks for others. We don't really hear, or even more, we don't even listen to what the other has to say. There's a pre-reading, a preconception of the situation, a tendency to stay within ourselves and not meeting truly the others. The cul-de-sac of preconception will bring loneliness, and in the case of the plague, almost death. You are stuck within yourself. And with misunderstanding comes misbehavior. If you don't understand, if you don't listen carefully, you will behave wrongfully based on your past experience, but maybe it's not the present situation. So, love has made him free. The friendship gave him space. He didn't have only the bullies from the school. The bullies were triggering the programmation of the little boy by his father. But the best friend was calling something else in him, as well as the girlfriend to become the wife. She was able to call something else. Programmation would have made him profit from her or abandon her. But she was always calling to her, calling him to her. a calling to his freedom, to his true being that he was talking about. Deep inside, he is a caring person. Deep inside, he is free. This is what was said many times. So love has made him free, and freedom and true love relationship gave him a space of freedom. Deep down, he aspired to this, but the old reflexes were strong, almost impossible to set aside. That's for the experience of me, okay? Now, the computer being programmed to live the experience of me, of the protagonist outside and inside, enhances the impression that programmation can be mechanically reproduced. Humanity, when it works only on instincts, when it works only on preconception, when it's only working from genes and past education, is like a robot. He becomes truly human when freedom is acquired. And that is what the computer remember. Because if the program has ended, the computer still remember the emotions, but it will still remember the capacity to decide and to change, the capacity to evolve. This album is so satisfying. Personally, I really love evocative poetry. I have a tendency to write and to prefer that we don't say everything in poetry. That's how I write songs, and that's what I prefer in terms of poetry. I can see the quality of that kind of writing in a play, because in a play you don't have the words. You don't have, so I understand why it makes such a great play. If you have the liner notes and you can follow, you might think that the lyrics are simplistic because you don't need any dictionary to understand them, or very little. Still, there is intricacy and complexity in the building up of the songs with constantly many characters. There's not one song, if I remember well, where there's only one character during the whole song. There's always a connection with 2, 3, 4, 6 characters, which is quite this is quite a result. This is quite a beautiful result, because of course you have to bring together voices that are quite different. Sometimes they might not mix well together, but this album, the voices are exceptional. I might say at the end that both the studio and the play live are, for me, totally satisfying. Totally. The quality of the musicians, the quality of the singers, both are fabulous. When I go to a play, to a musical, there are always voices I don't like. Or, okay, I find them okay, but here, none. All of them has been very precisely selected, coherent with what they were saying. This is true of the studio album, it's true of the play as well. There are surprises in the way that they chose to interpret a few parts, but globally, this is a complete success for me. Complete success for the musicians and the singers of both the studio and the live version. So I'm so happy that I listened to my friends, and I can tell you right away, before the end of 2022, I'll be doing Into the Electric Castle. I'll come back probably in the fall. I'm not done with Arian. Till then, I will listen to some of the other records of Arian, probably in the narrative order I should. Somebody suggested me an order. I will probably follow that. And when I will arrive to the Into the Electric Castle album, I will stop and wait until next fall to go through all along like we did for this album. As for next week, we will begin an album from the thrash metal band called Voivod. Thrash metal band, the last album that came out in February in 2022. It's called Synchro Anarchy. Synchro, it's with a Y. If you don't know Voivod, you have to know them. They've been around for 40 years. They are close to legend now, but in very peculiar, I would say, they have devoted fans for years. They've been there. Endurance in that world is already by itself quite an accomplishment. And I have seen nothing but the most excellent comments on that album in both private and public radios in Canada. I'm so eager to dig into that album. It's thrash metal with prog tendencies here and there. Sometimes they make very complicated songs, but generally speaking, it should be straightforward. As in thrash metal, you know, questions about how the world is going, politics, economics, I would say a marginal point of view that we have sometimes to listen. And I'm certainly eager to listen to the voice of Voivod next week. As usual, I will react to a lyrics video. If there's none, I will have the music video and I'll put on the lyrics in the subtitles as usual, a translation of them. And as usual, the subtitles are in 8 languages. Pick your own, never forget them. They can be helpful sometimes if you miss a word. And if there is a video, a live version, orchestra, whatever version there is at the end of the video, I will listen to that one as well. As for now, never forget that our premieres are always at 1:30 every Friday, Montreal time. And if you don't want to miss anything, just subscribe on this channel, to this channel, push the subscribe button and the little bell right beside, and you will be notified as soon as a new video comes out. Nothing complicated, 1 video per week. No spam, simple, straightforward. I am so looking for you to be back for Voivod and later last fall, the album Into the Electric Castle with Arian. 3, 2, 1.
See his mouth, he tries to speak, he cannot move, his voice is weak.
My dear friend, can you hear me now?
I'll try to tell you how I feel the pain inside. Tell me please, what can I do? Listen well to what I have to say. I have to tell you of my betrayal. It was clear, it spelled the end of your career.
I always felt that it was you. Pressed the thought, although I knew
the truth is out, I feel relieved. You hate me now, you've been deceived.
Anyway, we are even now. Come back to us somehow.
Going down, down.
The question burns. Are you sure of your return?
Can I deserve the chance? Now I understand it
What
all.
seems so unreal to you? Can you decide what to do?
Yes, I can. Oh, I will survive. Look at me. I'm alive.
Oh, there's not a conclusion of the studio album. So they keep it in the studio album as a human experience. I finish this series with a warm thank to Arian himself and all the team that he has around him for questions of rights. You know that one of my videos were blocked. Not only Arian himself got involved in trying to fix the situation, but his whole team, those who are looking for the respect of his rights and his music, they were all along with me and with Arian to try to solve the situation with YouTube. It was solved within a week. The generosity of Arian during that series has been remarkable. I had never experienced this kind of closeness from him from afar. He was there from afar. He encouraged me to continue on this path. Loved it. I loved it. Thank you, Arian. Thank you, Arian. Thank you, the whole team of Arian. And see you next fall. Bye-bye.
Emotions. I remember